we're going to start this off with INDI Semiconductor, ticker symbol INDI. We've got an analyst price target of 1667, giving us a 37% upside, a high of 18, a low of 14, and we've got John Vin giving it an $18 price target from KeyBank, 5-star analyst, very recent, and we've also got Craig Ellis, another $18 price target, also relatively recent. And getting into John Vin's profile here, he's ranked 422 out of 7,700 analysts with a success rate of 2 out of 3 trades and an average return of 16%. And here on the right, you'll see that he does cover a lot of the semiconductors. He's got Micron here, one that I'm very bullish on, Broadcom, we've got Texas Instruments, Qualcomm. I'm sure probably most of these are semiconductors. I'm not aware of some of these though. And you'll see here that he initiated his price target just only a few days ago. And now looking at INDI's chart here, we do have this diagonal that I've kept holding through it, and we did break it, but we hit $11. Psychological number, I think that's our new support here, and we're probably not going to see under 11. I did sell a cash secured put for a $10 strike price, feeling very good about that. And we did have a gap though coming upwards. So I see this coming down maybe to the low 11s before we move further, but it could be anybody's guess. I think this will move greatly on any kind of easing on the semiconductor shortage. Once we have good news about the semiconductor shortage moving forwards, maybe less supply constraints, things of that nature, this is going to cause all the semiconductors to push. In my opinion, they've all been suppressed with the exception of like AMD. I mean, that's one I've been watching that has just been completely going crazy. I was talking about it when it was like 102. I was saying go for it at 100. It bounced from 102 and just like went on a tear up to 120. So that's that's just crazy. But as for everything else, I feel like all these other semiconductors have just been kind of beaten down in my opinion. And that's it for INDI. And next up here, we're going to be looking at Volta Charging. The ticker symbol for that is VLTA. We've got a strong buy with 4 ratings, all of them rating it a buy, and a $14 price target representing a double up here. Here's the analyst covering it. We've got one with a 18, one with a 15, one with a 1250. I think either way, this definitely has some upside here. It just de-SPACed and it dumped pretty good. It's been, according to Larry Jones, it's been on a controlled downturn. Check out Larry Jones for more info on Volta, but I'm definitely bullish on this one. And getting into the chart here on this one, I see our downside being at about 650. So getting it here, I think we're at limited downside. I've been buying this here under 7 and at like the low 7s. I like it where it's at. I think it's a low cap, and on any positive infrastructure news, notice the last couple have been about catalysts. If we have any positive infrastructure news, this is going to cause a nice rally on this, and also ChargePoint, in my opinion, EVgo, all of the clean energy charging companies, all the charging companies are definitely going to rally on any good infrastructure news. They're definitely connected to that, and that's been causing a drop in this and ChargePoint lately, in my opinion. And next up, we're going to be looking at SAVA Sciences, and that is SAVA for the ticker symbol, with 4 ratings as a strong buy. We've got an average price target here of 159, representing just about a triple up here, 248% upside, a high of 215, a low of 108, average of 159. And you'll see here we've got a top analyst on the right giving it a $215 price target, and another top analyst giving it a 124, and one more giving it a 100. So that's quite interesting there. And I think the main reason that this has been so beaten down is we keep getting these investor alerts almost every day for the last like 2-3 weeks about the class action lawsuit deadline coming October 26th. We'll see how this lawsuit goes moving forwards, but it seems like they're constantly bringing this up. So I feel like this is already priced in where it's at here. I feel like there's limited downside. I think where the chart's at, we're looking at limited downside too. We're looking at a little bit over 40 as a base, and I see our next resistance up here at about 70. So I'd be looking to probably sell a small position, maybe skim some off the top. If it comes up to 70 here, that would definitely be my short-term price target. But where it's at, I think there's very limited risk, and I will be watching this one very closely in the coming week. And next up here, we're going to look at ChargePoint. We've got an average price target of $32, representing about a 54% upside. A high of 46, a low of 24. The analysts were kind of all over the place. We've got some really low-rated analysts giving it a sell when it was like $25. We've got some higher rated analysts giving it buys in the mid to low 30s. And I'm just mainly going to get into the chart here because it's kind of all over the place. And now looking at the chart here, I feel like we're at limited downside risk. Although we did come down under $20, we relatively quickly. I mean, some people might feel like that took a long time, but to me, that was a pretty quick process from going under 20 to coming back up. Although previously we did bounce like crazy off that $20. And keep in mind, we do have a all-time high of about $50. This just rallied coming into positive infrastructure news. And now that it's been negative lately on the infrastructure news, it's just been kind of on a downtrend. I like it where it's at. I think it could potentially cool down a little bit, but I do have a decent position. It does look like it might form support here at about 21. But I think where it's at here, it's at a very limited risk. If you're buying it under $22, I think long term you'll be very happy with yourself for doing so. And as for the last one, we don't really have any analysts covering this one besides a $17 price target, which I think is kind of irrelevant here. And that is none other than Tattooed Chef, TTCF. If you want a fundamental analysis, go check out Jeremy's channel. I'm sure a lot of you guys know that channel. But where I see this here, we're at about a $17 support. I don't see it going under 17. We did have a gap recently here. I definitely like it at its price. I think long term this one's going to be a win. I love their products. I do see them expanding into more targets. I see them taking up more freezer space, especially in my targets. You know, they're expanding to Kroger. That was not too recent news. And we did bounce off this W here. So if you see this come down, bounce off here, I definitely foresee this coming back up to the 18s and covering up this gap here. But we'll see what time tells with this one. It's been kind of on a downtrend lately, and with Beyond Meat's poor earnings, I could definitely see this pulling back, but to me that's just a buying opportunity because there will be a disconnect there and people will just be taking it as the entire vegetarian market doing badly by seeing Beyond Meat's earnings, and we'll see what it does moving forwards though. That is probably likely the reason for this drop over the last little while. I have swung this around a few times from the mid-teens, upper teens to the 20s. You know, it's a pretty easy trade if you're patient. I definitely like it if it can go a little farther down. I think our max downside could be 16. We did hit a double bottom here, and we just blasted off after that. You'll see we did a nice double bottom here, and we blasted off. We'll see if we do this again. We might have another W form, and we might bounce further. But overall, I'm bullish on Tattooed Chef. I love their products. I like pretty much everything I've tried, actually, to be honest. But that's basically all I got for you. Just a quick, like a part 2 of another 5 stocks to buy. Definitely paying attention to these ones. If you haven't watched my previous 5 stocks to buy, I'll leave a link below for you guys. But thanks again. Just a quick video for you. Take it easy, and I'll see you on the next one.